Netflix offers you thousands of options, new releases every week, trending series constantly appearing in your feed. Yet here you are, watching The Office for the 12th time, rewatching Friends again, returning to Harry Potter even though you've seen it 20 times before. People ask why you don't try something new, but that's not really the interesting question. The better question is this: why do some people constantly chase new content, while others find genuine comfort in the familiar? Is it just laziness, pure nostalgia, or something much deeper happening in their psychology? Stay with me, because what we uncover might finally explain why you keep returning to the same screen. We exist in a culture absolutely obsessed with novelty. New shows, new movies, new episodes dropping constantly. The algorithm actively pushes you toward exploration, toward what's trending, toward what everyone else is watching. But certain people simply ignore all of it. They know every line, every scene, every joke by heart, and yet they press play again. Before you judge them as boring or stuck, understand something important. Rewatching isn't about being trapped in the past or lacking curiosity. It's deeply psychological, and there are distinct patterns to it. Let me walk you through what's actually happening in the minds of people who rewatch. First, there are those seeking comfort and stability. For these individuals, life feels genuinely unpredictable. Work brings constant stress. Relationships create uncertainty. The world changes at an overwhelming pace. Their brains naturally crave something stable, something safe and known. Psychologists identify this as predictability bias. When external life becomes chaotic, the mind seeks environments it can actually control. These people know exactly how the episode concludes. They know the character survives the crisis. They know the punchline is approaching. And that certainty functions like a warm blanket on a freezing night. It's no longer about the actual story. It's about the feeling it provides, the emotional safety it guarantees. For them, pressing play on a familiar show resembles coming home after an exhausting day. Everything sits exactly where it should be, comfortable and reassuring. Then there are the mentally exhausted individuals who need cognitive rest. Their daily work demands constant thinking, endless decision-making, continuous problem-solving. By evening, their brain has absolutely nothing left to give. Watching something new actually requires significant effort. You must learn new characters, follow complex plots, pay careful attention to details and nuances. But rewatching operates on autopilot mode. Their brain doesn't have to work or strain. It can simply exist without demands. Psychologists describe this as cognitive load reduction. Think of the brain as a battery that depletes throughout the day. Rewatching becomes how they recharge without expending additional energy. They don't need stimulation or novelty. They need genuine rest. And familiar content is the only thing that doesn't demand anything from their already depleted mental resources. It functions as background comfort, mental white noise, a method to feel entertained without being drained. Another group rewatches for emotional connection to their past. For these people, it's not really about the show itself. It's about the memories permanently attached to it. Perhaps they watched it with someone they deeply miss. Perhaps it reminds them of a better period in their life, a time when things felt simpler, when happiness came more easily. Psychologists call this emotional time travel. The show transforms into a portal, not to the story, but to the person they used to be. Every rewatch becomes a visit to their past self. And even though life has shifted dramatically, the show remains unchanged. It's frozen in time, perpetually waiting for their return. This explains why people cry during shows they've seen 10 times already. It's never about the scene itself. It's about the memory, the feeling of who they were during that first viewing. For them, abandoning the show feels like abandoning that version of themselves. So they keep returning, not because they've forgotten what happens, but because they don't want to forget what it felt like. Finally, there are the detail hunters who rewatch because they're genuinely curious and analytical. They believe every show contains layers, hidden details, small moments they missed initially, background jokes, subtle foreshadowing, nuanced acting choices. For them, watching once feels insufficient. The story isn't complete until they've caught everything. Their brains love puzzles, patterns, connections, and rewatching is how they solve the mystery. It's not mindless repetition. It's active exploration. And every time they notice something previously missed, it's like experiencing it fresh again. For them, a show isn't just a story. It's an entire world they want to explore completely. So here's what connects all these different types. They're not avoiding personal growth or hiding from life. They're not stuck in the past or refusing to evolve. They're simply choosing what their mind genuinely needs in that moment. The comfort seekers are protecting their mental peace. The exhausted are conserving their precious energy. The nostalgic are holding on to their personal story. The detail hunters are deepening their experience and understanding. None of these approaches are wrong or inferior. They're just different, reflecting how people are wired differently. In a culture obsessed with the next big thing, with constant novelty and endless scrolling, these people have learned something valuable. Sometimes the best choice isn't the newest option, it's the familiar one. But here's the real question worth considering. Does watching something new automatically make you more interesting? Or does knowing what brings you genuine comfort make you more self-aware? Maybe the people who rewatch aren't stuck at all. Maybe they've simply figured out what actually makes them happy, and they're confident enough to choose that over what's trending. So which type are you? And what's your comfort show or movie that you keep returning to? Think about it.